now seeing my screen showing a notebook. And so first step I'm going to do in that notebook is basically going to clone the You see my notebook, Nicole? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to clone the AI Studio Copilot sample here, which is basically what Sam has been just talking through, where actually all these markdown files are stored. And I'm going to use that for, feeding it into our tabular LLM model to create question truth pairs. I'm going to install the Gretel client in our SDK. And then the first step is basically to take this bunch of markdown files and read and chunk it into pieces. So we found 20 files and extracted 41 chunks of those files. Next step would be for each of those chunks, create me a meaningful question or a set of meaningful questions and the corresponding response based on, a text snippet that it finds in those chunks. In order to do that, we first authenticate with Gretel and we initialize our tabular LLM model. And then we basically go into prompt the model. And so I construct my prompt in two ways here. First, I'm going to ask the model to create a data set with the following columns. And then I provide some columns I'm interested for the model to generate. So it will give me a tabular data set where I have a question, where it's unique questions about that snippet of text and the corresponding response or truth that I'm going to use. So this question truth pair will then use as an evaluation data set for my RAG model. I'm also going to ask it to provide the context, like the exact paragraph where the tabular LLM model has generated that question truth response. But let's say I want to go a step further. I don't want to have just random question truth responses. I want to provide a little bit more guidance to the model. I would like to do, so I'm going to update my prompt with 3 different sections. First, I want the model to first select a topic, which can be basic pricing, basic information, pricing and warranty usage, or technical details, or anything you want. Also would like to generate a user profile. So whether that question is a beginner user has never used that product that's in the database, or an expert user who already has used that product before and wants to have some additional questions. And then thirdly, I want the user to ask a question in a particular language and get a response back in a particular language. Remind you that all these documents are written in English, so it should be having some translation here. So this is the final prompt that I actually generated for this use case. Is actually, we're going to ask the model, we provided a text, and we're going to generate a pandas data frame in this case, where it adds topics, a topic column, user profile column, a language model, and based on those 3, it generates me a question and truth pair. So we're going to run our Gretel tabular model. We can provide some parameters like temperature to make the model more creative or more consistent. And then once it has generated, it returns me a tabular data set as follows. So first, if we go into look into this, we see like a topic around technical details. That is a user profile, that's a beginner, and in the Dutch language. So it's asking if the product is waterproof. It finds that, the context where it finds just like a little paragraph or sentence that it found into those documents, and it responds back, it generates truth in Dutch. Another question here is around sustainability from a beginner user in English. It's just ask if the backpack is made eco-friendly, right? In this case, the model finds, it's very interesting. It finds that the model is made of durable nylon material in the thing, in the documents, but it actually responds in a very smart way. It says information about the eco-friendliness of the backpack is not provided in the given text. So it only says it's durable nylon material. Another expert version is, will there be any future updates? So also here it didn't find any, and it provides you with that answer. So there are other answers if there is, security measures, and it will provide those security measures in the truth file. Next step I want to do is like a little bit on human evaluation here, where we actually go over all these examples one by one and decide if we want to keep them or not. So remember, this is a process where we basically go all the way from the stage where a user has to read those documents and ask questions and generate the truth to just a sanity check on the questions that it just generated. Once I generate those questions, once I'm, go to all these question truth pairs and I'm satisfied with it, I can write them out to a JSON file. And now we go to the part what's actually Sam presented, where I'm actually can use those samples now with the deployed RAG model that I have done with Azure AI. And I can, take that generated question truth pairs and just assess the RAG model based on those. And it generates me a score that is coherence, groundness, and relevance score for that particular question truth pair that I just asked the model to generate. So a very easy way to generate test evaluation sets for the RAG model.